Correct. That I'm glad you brought up habits, because that's where everything comes back down to. Everybody wants another trick or a strategy to do to check off the box and say I did it, but it's not getting down to why and who we are and why we do the things that we do. It's based off your behaviors is everything. If you're getting back into your body and you want to do more with less, you have to see where you are. You have to see who you are, and then live off of that world, not try to gain another thing, another trick.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think I've got a notebooks after notebooks after notebooks of just tricks and hacks and things that people have told me, but were not necessarily, right? Not necessarily. Yeah, I've got a whole bookshelf full of books on all of that stuff, but it's not necessarily stuff that we implement. And I think even though they're, tricks, hacks, shortcuts, whatever, sometimes they're really overcomplicated, or I think a big piece of it too is not always understanding how to apply it to ourselves, or finding the ones that are the best fit to apply to ourselves. So I would love for you to share a bit about the magic and genius you'll be sharing at our amazing Impact events. Oh, good morning, Suki.
What's up, Sukes? So one of the things that I've heard, and I'm going to chime right off of you, is we don't really implement it. And that's the reason why that happens. It's because your nervous system heightens so high that you only go into survival mode. And people always know about the fight or flight mechanism, but they are either in it or thinking they're not in it, right? It's a thought rather than realizing and truly embodying the fact that I am calm and I can be calm. But shit hits the fan and you will start to rise. You have to understand the rise, not I'm, oh my God, losing it. Because so many times people try to do a trick, a hack, when it's too late, which then it takes a lot longer to get yourself to calm back down. And we want it now, we want it instantly, so we just quit. Or we never see it close enough and get into our habit, a behavior cycle of doing it before shit hits the fan, seeing things ahead, being able to see around the corner and see the problems that's coming your way based off of the behaviors that you do, because we create all the ish that comes our way. We have to realize and take that hard pill is I created the universe, the world, the environment that I'm in that makes me suffer and makes me want to work hard, makes me want to do things because, one, I'm successful because of this world. But now this world is no longer serving me because I want something else. That means I have to do something else, which means you have to calm yourself down. I call it the flip side of the healthy coin. So many people want to take the supplements, do all the work, do all the lifting, but they forget about the human organism needs to relax. It needs to calm in order to heal. So when it comes down to deep down healing, like things like my eyes, things like I'm doing a post about morning wood and being able to understand that if you don't have that testosterone in yourself and your body's not optimized, especially when you wake up. It's a clear indicator. And if you don't have it, you now need to do some massive work. And it's not inside the gym, which most people think. Lift harder, push, do more. It's actually calming yourself down and letting your body actually heal. And that's the stuff that we're going to be talking about inside of the event. It is not the front side of healing, the front side of doing more, the front side of productivity. It's what you do on the back burner. What is your habit loops? Where's your mind at? What's going on? What is actually happening right now inside your organism, what inside your body that's, one, holding you back, or two, that you're not even recognizing is there that you need to work on?
Well, and Glenn just asked this really great question about anxiety, right? So many people, especially leaders, right? We're so good at taking on more and putting all this pressure on ourselves. And so we get into the habit loop of anxiety, right? One, because we're constantly in that elevated state, which I'm always telling people all the time, right? Like your inability to focus isn't this ADD, ADHD thing. It's because you're elevated. If you get grounded, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of what you've taught me, because I practice what I preach and work with all of the amazing coaches in the influential ecosystem, but it's being able to calm that down helped me elevate my focus, elevate my performance, elevate my productivity, and break out of the loop of anxiety. Because as I'm always talking about with control, right? I stopped focusing on all the stuff that's outside of my control. I started focusing on, okay, what do I need to do to support my body, be in my body, get out of my head, right? Like all of those things. So you're the subject matter expert here, talk about that, because I know you're going to get into this a lot at the event.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things I do differently from most is I bring it back to the root of the problem. But the root of the problem is understanding what's actually happening without asking direct questions and like, what do you do with anxiety? What is causing your anxiety? I'm just going to generalize it. When a person says anything with that A word in it, I already know they're projecting out in the future. Anxiety is future based and they're outside of their body looking out, and the way the human brain works. And it's if you're a big thinker, overthinker, and procrastination, things like that happens to you a lot because you're overthinking and your body can't move forward. That's the definition of procrastination in the organism. You're automatically inside your head. Your head is pushing you out in the future. The mind sees things that's going to eat you and kill you. So you're going to see only problematic things out front, which then because you can't hold it, you become anxious. Now, how your body deals with anxiety is different from everybody. Some people freeze. Some people get scattered minded. Some people get paralyzed and they think over too much, or they give themselves hives. They give themselves body ailments. I don't know what yours is, but when it comes down to it, all you have to do is bring that timeline back into now and realize you are not dead. You are not going to die. Nothing's going to happen. Like legitly look around and say, all right, no one's in this house with a knife. No one has a gun. No one's here. Legitly do that first. And then you're going to be able to actually bring your mind and your body back together. Then you have to feel what's actually happening and see what you can do. And realize that you've gotten as far as you've gotten, this heightened place, because you are good at what you do. You just now need to take the next step. Yes, all that shit could happen out in the future. All the things can happen, but you're going to worry about the next step, especially when you feel that anxiety. That is the anxiety is your cue to get now to what is my next step. That's all I have to worry about. As well as make the anxiety a cue as well to show you that you might not be prepared for something. And that's why you're scared. That's why you have fear. Find out what that is, which now I'm going to the root, and work on that skill that's going to now defeat that anxiety that will come because you get whatever you see. And this is part of the problem. And this is why I work heavily when people say I have anxiety about XYZ. I find the skill that they need and I develop it because you get everything that you see. You are developing everything that happens. So the more and more you get anxious, you think about it. You start to develop something out in the future that's based off of fear. You're eventually going to find it because you're seeing it so much. It's so easy to say, stop that. Don't think about that. Think about the positive. Be positive. Like just project the opposite of that. That won't work because you are currently not there. You have to now rearrange the way you are inside now in order for you to make that different. Hopefully that makes sense, Glenn.
Well, and I love how every single one of our experts, we started with this speaker series with Rebecca because she was actually alluding to what she's going to be teaching on the 4-body system, right? And every single one of these experts is, and you focus on shifting the physical body, but how that applies then to the mental, emotional, and spiritual body. And then all of this gets brought together because we are being better leaders because all aspects of ourselves are caught up. Our head's not way in the future, our body way behind, and then emotions off to the side, and then, energy just flipping everywhere. But we bring it all in, get everything in alignment, all those pieces of ourselves caught up. And then that's when we're really accessing our power and our influence to truly impact at the highest level. And when you bring all of that together and bring that into your leadership, bring that into your business, bring that into your relationships, bring it into your life, holy hell, what is able to happen in such a short period of time is absolutely amazing. I mean, like it's sitting in the emotion of the reality of what we've all been able to experience doing this. It's such an emotional part of my brain. Like I'm disconnected from language. I can't even begin to find the word to explain the magnanimity of this
Oh, I
experience.
like that word. You don't get to use that word often. That's a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. But yes, I like once you sit in the emotions, we have a world that now tells you not to feel, right? They frown upon vulnerability, and that's why there's so much more talk now about you have to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable. 100% right. That's like the thing that's in front of us. But the reason why people are talking about it is because we disconnected to something that's part of you and who you are. Once you bring that back in line, whatever you're doing currently at the rate that you're going, you could 10x that instantaneously because you now add the second part of you, the flip side of you that you've been honing. It's almost like when people talk about shadow work and all these bad things, they forget that's part of them. Like when people say, I shouldn't be angry. I'm seeing this a lot. I shouldn't be angry. No, it's part of your emotion. You can be angry. It's what you do with that. That's the problem. You can be any emotion you want, but the problem is we frown upon feeling them, being in them, being with it. And when you are truly comfortable with it, then you just lose words. Like I just got the goosebumps right now on my hair, bro. So like you lose that feeling, that ability just to talk because you're just in awe of what you are capable of. And once that happens, things become really, really simple and things start moving fast because now you're not seeing problems to dismantle. You're just seeing the things I got to do, things I got to do, things I got to do. Then it turns into tasks, into goals, into milestones, into holy shit, I did this. Holy shit, I did this. Holy shit, I did this. And it's only quarter one. Woo! Like that's what we want to be able to get that. And that's also getting yourself to slow down, to speed up. And that's something that, I love saying is getting a person to stop running and pushing and start slowing down for a second and see the mapping of what they're creating. That's when things start to change for them rapidly. It's when you actually slow down. And the same thing with anxiety. Oh, I just thought of a good one. So inside the program, what we're going to be doing is showing people how to do something. It's just not check off the boxes, giving you dittos, handouts, and say, do this, do this. When you're in trouble, do this. It's actually going to be in real life. So Glenn talked about anxiety. Anxiety is based in the head. I talk a lot about energetics and talk about a lot of spirituality as well as getting back in your body. The easiest way to break an overthinker is to get them to feel. Now, I want to caveat this example with it's not about pain. It's not about bruising yourself. It's not about hurting yourself. It's about feeling your body. So we all know the lovely little point that we have in our hand that people used to use. Ooh, which way am I going there? This way. Headaches, right? So the way that you do that is you take your hand, you make a little mound like so. You're going to now going into your hand like so, push into the mound, into your wrist. Let go of the thumb and you're going to hit a soft spot. And all you have to do is hold that soft spot till you feel a little tenderness, not pain. How many times do I have to say that? It's not pain. It's not bruising. It's tenderness. I feel tenderness. And you do a counterclockwise little baby circle, and then you do a counterclockwise little baby circle. What that's going to start doing is pull energy out of your mind. Now, this is Eastern philosophy, down back into your body. If you have headaches, it does wonders for headaches. I wonder why, because it's pulling energy out of that, right? If you're overthinking, it starts to slow down things. There's so many different hacks that you can do, but these are the things that we're going to teach you how to do in real time when you're losing yourself, so you can stop to speed up. That's the whole point. It's not about keep on pushing. So, Glenn, if you try that right now, you can probably notice a calming sensation works. Do one side, then the other side, and then take a breath and see what happens and how slow you are. I'm curious to see if that works for you.
Well, I love that. I mean, you just hit on such a big point of what we've been talking about through this whole Speak series and everything we've been talking about with this influential impact event is that we will be doing things in real time to create results right then. And the fact that you've done the application, that you've learned how to take this, you see the results, and now you know how to create change in real time and apply it into your life, your leadership, your legacy, even beyond the event. Yeah, Glenn's like you're referencing an acupressure point. That is
Correct.
one. Yes. There's a lot more to it that you do. That's just one little teaser example for the context of this for anxiety. Absolutely. We're going to get into optimizing performance and all the different ways to quickly get into our bodies, out of our heads, and get all of those pieces of ourselves into alignment to really massively accelerate results. Any other, oh, go ahead.
No, I was like, that is going to be the kicker of it. It's what this is going to be different for everyone is it's not about learning and getting the rah-rah and the boost of the adrenaline and like, I can do it. It's like, I can do it because I know how I function. And that's my portion of it. I'm going to get you back into your body and realizing where you truly are so you can understand why to use the acupuncture point rather than just automatically going to it because you learned it. It's supposed to help. Let me do this. It's like, why? Why is it working for me? What's going on with you? And that's the time that we're going to spend together is to get you to understand in order for me to move faster, I have to be stable. I have to be within myself and grounded. So many people are not grounded, but they're making shit work. And then they wonder why shit blows up later because they have too many balls in the air and they're not grounded enough to manage it, grounded and feel connected to what they're doing. And then they fall out of love with it as well as everything in their family and their life blows up.
Well, and that's the biggest hiccup I see with high performers is they actually are the ones that are decreasing their performance constantly by how they've maladapted their performance, right? I'll speak to my own experience, it being that high performer, high achiever, my maladaption, like a lot of people I see, was the more I can do and the more I can try to control, the better my results. Right. And that only takes us so far because we're relying on resources that have a max capacity, time and energy. And we end up maxing out. And so to be able to pivot in a way, and this is like the magic of what you're teaching, right, is how to access more of that power. So now we don't need more time or energy.
Correct. But with the energy part, it is a finite resource, but it's just like your cell phone. It's infinite in the capacity because you just have to charge it. If you get into a habit of consistently having a behavior to charge it, you'll never run out of energy and you'll have energy on tap, as you say, right? It's a matter of you learning how to do that. Regarding time, I talk to people about this. And like, oh, it is a finite resource. But I was like, we go back to the very beginning of time. Oh, wait, we made that shit up. We made that shit up. Like,
we made it up.
And we just do whatever we want with the construct that we have of time. Like Tim Ferriss in the beginning of Tim Ferriss, we talked about you can get so much done if you slept 3 hours a day. So he constructed a way to have his body run functionally on 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day. But I was like, that won't work because as soon as you miss one of your micro naps, I went through this shit and it was not fun. It's not fun because your body has to readapt itself. But time is something you create. You now have to use your time appropriately based off of what you want and where you are. So time and energy is something that you can manipulate in a way where it just moves ridiculously fast or ridiculously slow. And that's the fun part.
It is fun. We can manipulate time. All right. So any final thoughts for those people who are on the fence about getting a ticket to come to this event? Why do they need to get their asses there?
So one of the things I have to say is if you want to move forward, you have to take a different action that you've done in the past. And this is a different action because you won't just be there to take notes. You're there for an experience. And when you learn anything and it becomes embedded in you, it's not based off of book knowledge. It's based off of the experience that you had learning it, while learning it, and then the experience that you had while doing it. And that's something that we both will be doing inside of this is giving you an experience and putting you through something to now embody it. So this is not just another rah, take these notes and run off with it. Let's make some money fast. Oh, all the get rich schemes. Yeah. It's a matter of what are you going to do consistently? How are you feeling? And then let's practice that for half a second. So now you have the ability to practice this on your own and move you forward.
I love it. Well, for those of you who haven't got your ticket yet, head on over to vipstacy.com/impact to get your tickets. Everybody, the momentum is picking up. Everybody's getting into that place of like, okay, got to get my tickets, got to plan my travel, got to do all of that stuff now. Like everybody's on it. They have been selling like crazy. We have a limited number of seats. Even though we pushed out the closing date to February 1st, that doesn't mean that's when the doors are closing. We have a limited number of seats available. And when those are gone, those are gone. And so get on that. Absolutely. You will have an amazing, amazing experience that is a game changer for your lifestyle, for your leadership, and for that legacy of impact you are called to make in 2022. As Patrick said, it's time to do something different to massively accelerate those results, because that impact, that purpose needs that untapped potential that you can feel. Right. That's what we're tapping into and unleashing for 2022. So head on over to vipstacy.com/impact and get your tickets.
Get it today.
Get them today. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned. We will continue having the amazing speaker series. Have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye.